this new announcement today, Amazon Prime. It's been rumored for the last few weeks, I think, that Amazon and Diamond were going to get in bed somehow on a deal. And now here it is. It's good-ish news, maybe, for some of the Bally Sports affiliated teams around the country that haven't been dropped, haven't been put into bankruptcy. Those folks probably feel a little bit better. Certainly for the folks who work at the RSNs, they know that they still have a job. So, on that kind of macro level, I guess it's good news. Here in San Diego, it's totally irrelevant news. But what are your thoughts on it?
I'm going to try to explain some of the backstory of the TV deal and why you should care. I do think you should care about the TV deal because this is something that is going to affect MLB and probably other leagues too that are in this position. It's not going to be solved this year. It's going to be ongoing the next few years, especially as teams try to figure out what's going to be my best bet here in terms of what's going to give my club the most money, the best way that these fans can watch it, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so the thing that happened today, from my understanding, the Tigers, Royals, Marlins, Twins, and Rays, essentially it kept them alive with Bally's. Okay. One more year. And that's about all it did. Okay, but when you look at the TV deal as a whole, it's kind of like a big experiment right now. You have two teams that are partnered with MLB. You have the Padres and the Diamondbacks. They have essentially given MLB, or MLB has assumed their streaming rights to a certain extent. So they're working with these two teams. That is an experiment all its own. There's a reason that you don't see teams flocking to that. Partly, some of them involved in contracts of their own, but some of them, for example, the Cardinals, who next year will probably be free agents, they have options. They're looking at this going, do we link up with someone like Amazon? Do we go the direction of MLB? Or will there be a third party, someone else that emerges? Do we start our own network? Okay, so there's all these options for some of these teams. And they're kind of watching what's working and what's not working right now. When you look at the situation the Padres are in compared to an RSN, yes, the Padres have their own streaming rights. Or my understanding is MLB has their streaming rights, but I'm sure they could take them and figure them out and do something else with them, right? But when you look at an RSN is paying the team. So an RSN is saying, I'm going to give the Padres $60 million this year. And I'm also going to cover all production costs. So I, Bally's, am paying for all the production costs, giving you this money to air your rights. You just, have the games and we'll handle everything and et cetera, et cetera. What am I missing on that?
That's it. You give them the money. They give you the right to do what
Correct.
You're doing.
You are the rights holder. You look at something like streaming, and the Padres, I think the numbers that came out in the final month of the season, it was something like 18,000, I believe, streamers for that final month. Okay, so you times that by $20 a month, you're getting to about 360,000
a month.
Say you go to 100,000 streamers a month, you're getting to about maybe 2 million a month. So maybe 12 million covering that. Now you can definitely sell ads if you're on the Padres side. You can probably partner with someone to get some kind of sponsorship or things like that. So I'm not saying that that's the only way that money's going to come in, but the money is so different. And you are paying the production costs. So where MLB fronted 80% of that last year, that, to my understanding, and I'm going to get some of this wrong, guys, I just am, but this is what I know from my understanding.
Well, Spark Notes, Cliff Notes.
Yeah, the Spark Notes, Cliff Notes, understanding that this is very fluid. Like, they don't know. The smart people that I'm talking to, even they are like, I don't really know how it's going to end up, right?
But what you were saying is that that backstopping is gone.
The backstopping is gone. So now whatever teams, the Diamondbacks, the Padres, whatever teams were to go under the MLB umbrella, you are paying your own production costs. Okay. So we've seen changes to the production since MLB took over. Less, pregame, postgame, whatever, different changes. Also,
fewer sideline reporters.
Viewers. That's a whole nother conversation. That would be you'd get some ratings on that one. But
sounds like a good podcast.
Yeah, maybe down the road.
Okay. All right. Got it. Duly noted.
But what it's doing is it's kind of like giving MLB and what I think MLB wants here is MLB would love it if they were to assume the rights of all, most of the teams that they could get. Those are all under the MLB umbrella. And now MLB can go shop those. I can go shop. I've got 6-7 teams with their streaming rights. Let me go shop that to so-and-so. Let me go try to make money off of that so-and-so. But for the Padres, yes, they are the biggest team in town. You're still in San Diego, though. You are not in LA. You are not in New York. You are not a national, worldwide, global phenomenon that maybe like if you were to take, I guess, the Raiders, like they've got fans everywhere, the Cowboys, I'm trying to just spitball here some analogies, I guess. But so you're looking at the money, like the money is different. And then the way that it's produced is different. So yeah, so now that's gone internal versus like the RSN covering the production costs. So when you're looking at why would a team want to stay with an RSN or be part of an umbrella or whatever, those are some of the reasons why the team is assuming a cost or getting a paycheck from it. They're also getting their production covered. There's also obviously the ability to sell things within that. But it's going to be really interesting because I think for MLB, they want the teams, but the teams, I'm not sure necessarily have to go to them. And so there's going to be like this whole spread of like kind of the wild, wild west, I think, for a little while as teams kind of figure out what's going to be my best option, what's going to work. The real winners in this, in my opinion, are the Dodgers, the Yankees, the people who had their own networks, who were able to sell, and obviously are part of huge media markets, Fortune 500 company places, can get a lot of sponsorships, things like that. I'm not saying that the Padres can't get to a great deal, but it's confusing because it might not affect them this year, but next year you might have teams that go, what are we doing? Like maybe we're not going to get 60 million a year, but now we want to get 20 million a year or 10 million a year or something's better than nothing. I don't know how it's all going to shake out. And I think that the whole, hey, now it's going to exclusively stream on Prime. I'm not even sure about that. I just read an article that they're also going to keep it on the local, cable and satellite and then also offer it on Prime. So I'm not even, that's a little iffy to me. I'm not sure what is going on there. But the point is, yes, it doesn't affect the Padres now, but it does affect the Padres in a situation of what will their future be, A, and then B, what does the money equal out to? If you're a team that's getting a lot of money from TV or can get more money from TV, you're up against these other teams that are not making as much money from TV. So I think there's a lot of factors.
Just putting a couple of the numbers into this, okay? So you mentioned that last year, and look, it launched mid-season. It
Right.
launched in the middle of a disappointing season.
Right.
And the numbers you're quoting are from kind of the worst time.
True. So you're
Right.
probably going to see an uptick in numbers
But
this year.
just to be fair with
Yeah.
simple numbers,
Yes.
right? If it was 18,000
Mhm.
last year, let's say they do better, significantly
Sure.
better. 25,000 would be almost 50% increase,
Mhm.
right? And you could say, well, we increased our subscription rate by 50%.
Mhm.
If 25,000 people in San Diego County sign up to pay $20 a month to the Padres directly
Yeah.
to get over-the-top streaming, that's $500,000 a month.
Mhm.
That's $6 million a year. That is going from $60 million to $6
Right.
million. Want to know why we're not buying free agents? This is a very straightforward thing because that's 25,000 subscriptions. Now, as of 2021, the population of San Diego County, my computer tells me, is 3.286 million people. So if you could get 500,000 people
Yeah.
to subscribe, you'd make $120 million a year. You can convince yourself that that's a good thing, but the Padres know their numbers in terms of their season
Yes.
ticket holders, in terms of their active audience. And the real problem for a team when you go to direct marketing is you're losing your passive viewer who just has that, right? Unless you make all the right deals, you have to stitch together now, well, this cable company, that cable company, this cable company, because those passive viewers, well, no, I get cable. I'm not gonna buy anything else.
And that is why the Pac-12 is dead. That reasoning right there. That's why they're like, no thanks. We don't want to sign with Apple for that.
And I do think like, because I thought I saw something about 40,000. I didn't have a chance to go back and check. I thought I saw something where they had 40,000 subscribers or something. So, okay, you say that 40,000 a month or something like that, 800,000 for that month. It's not nothing. It's not nothing. And it might be that the Padres and the Diamondbacks are at the forefront of where it's all going to end up anyways. It's just a guinea pig kind of thing now where, you don't have it completely figured out, but maybe the Padres and the Diamondbacks will eventually be ahead of the game in streaming and things like that. But all I can say is you don't see teams flocking over there right now they're hanging on to this RSN thing because there are advantages to it. Even if it is dying, they're probably also trying to shop around and figure out, are there other options? Is there a way to still recoup some of this money or start our own network, that sort of thing?
Yeah, we've got like a minute left in this segment, but I'll just tell you, one of the single biggest things that's destroyed media rights is certainty. All right. Back in the day, even when I started in radio, you had all the guys driving around with the hair shirts and the Mercedes and certain things around their neck. Like, what is that? And is that a vial? What is that? And those guys could sell sizzle. They could say, oh, you are reaching hundreds of thousands of people on our radio station every day, taking ratings, extrapolating them. Then you get to the digital world, and it's like, no, this podcast was downloaded 2,714 times. So you're not dealing with, oh, it could be 50, 100, a million, a zillion. No, it's 2,714, and we can put a number on that so easily. So, oh, there's 3 million people in San Diego who would watch. No, there's 18,000. Yeah. And once you know that,
40,000,
right? Even if it's 60,000,
sure.
The advertisers are like, well, okay, well, I'm reaching 60,000 people. Here's my rate for 60,000 people, not for the whole San Diego County. So, numbers, certainty, algorithms are all bad for speculative business deals.